In the early 1800s, there was one man whose name made kings tremble, whose footsteps echoed across Europe, and whose ambition knew no limits. His name was Napoleon Bonaparte. He had power. He had fame. He had armies that conquered nations. Yet, he died alone, defeated, and empty. This is his story. Napoleon was born in 1769 on the island of Corsica. He was not born into royalty. He was not rich. He was not powerful. In fact, as a young boy in military school, he was mocked for his accent, isolated for his background, and underestimated for his size. But while others laughed, Napoleon studied. While others played, he planned. He read books on war leadership and strategy obsessively. He didn't just want success, he wanted dominance. And slowly, the world began to notice him through intelligence, discipline, and fearless decision-making. Napoleon rose through the ranks of the French army at an unbelievable speed. By his early 30s, he had done the unthinkable. He crowned himself Emperor of France. Not elected, not appointed. He took the crown and placed it on his own head. That moment revealed everything about Napoleon. He didn't just want power. He wanted control. Napoleon's military genius was undeniable. He defeated Austria. He crushed Prussia. He humbled Italy. His enemies called him the Corsican monster. His soldiers called him the little corporal. Europe bent under his ambition. And that was the problem. Because success fed his ego, and ego blinded his wisdom. Napoleon had conquered much of Europe, but it wasn't enough. There was always another country, another enemy, another battle to prove his greatness. He ignored advice. He dismissed warnings. He trusted his ambition more than wisdom. And then came Russia. Against all counsel, Napoleon marched his massive army into the freezing Russian wilderness. It was not the enemy that defeated him. It was pride, cold, hunger, disease. Thousands of soldiers died not because they lost a battle, but because their leader refused to turn back. That single decision cracked the empire. After Russia, Europe rose against him. One by one, the victories stopped coming. Finally, at the Battle of Waterloo, Napoleon was completely defeated. The man who once ruled Europe was captured. He was exiled not once, but twice. The second exile was to a lonely island called St. Helena, far from power, far from glory, far from applause. On St. Helena, Napoleon had no army, no crown, no empire, just memories. He spent his days walking, reflecting, and replaying his past. History records that near the end of his life, he said words filled with regret, realizing too late that conquest could not replace peace, and power could not replace purpose. In 1821, Napoleon Bonaparte died, not on a battlefield, not as a king, but as a prisoner of his own ambition.